In Ghost of Yotei, there is a specific order in which I feel you should go after the Yotei 6 that not only changes the way you play the game, but also gives you a huge advantage towards mid and end game. In this video, I'm going to go over what I feel is the greatest order to take on the Yotei 6 that not only gives you a lot of access to almost every mechanic in the game, but it makes taking down the Yotei 6 a hell of a lot easier. I will not spoil any of the story, but I will be explaining weapons, progression, and what I feel is the perfect order. So without further ado, let's go ahead and lock straight in. To start things off, the game is going to have you take down the snake. After doing so, I feel like you should probably progress through the Yotei grasslands naturally and go after the dual katana as soon as possible. The dual katana can be found right over here at the mountain trail. If you take the mountain trail up, you're going to be able to find the dual katana master, Hanbei. Now, after meeting him, you then probably want to take down the different dueling trees in the game. I have a full-blown guide right here that's showing you the progression of all the dueling trees, the charms, and how to take down Takizo, which is one of the hardest bosses in the game. If you want more information about that, go ahead and check the description down below. But once you have Takizo's dual strike ability, you then want to come over to the Yotei Shadow Inn. You've probably already been here several times, but at this point you should have enough money to either buy yourself a short bow or a long bow. If not, go ahead and check out the bounty broker, and you want to make sure that you grab the quest to get the Metsubushi. That's going to send you right over here to the Blue Flowered Cemetery. Now after you get the Metsubushi, you then want to come over here to Master Hejido's Garden. This is going to give you an ability to basically use one of the songs to find bamboo strike points. That's going to start to power up your character and give you a bunch of spirits. Now just a couple of key locations that I want to go ahead and point out. There's a bamboo strike point right over here at the Newport River. There's a bamboo strike point right over here at the Yotei River Bamboo Strike Point. There's also a bamboo strike point at your home. And there's going to be a bamboo strike point over in the inn right over here. So now that you have the wolf blade, the dual katanas, the Metsubushi, and 2 different bows, it's time for you to take your talents over here to Tokaichi Range. The Tokaichi Range area is filled with a bunch of quests and bounties that you definitely don't want to miss out on. But the number one thing that you want to make sure you get is going to be right up here at Master Yoshida's dojo. At this point, you have 5 of the most powerful weapons in the game to give you access to almost every rock, paper, scissors encounter. The katana is going to be good against katanas and odachi. The odachi will instantly give you an advantage over large enemies. The dual katanas destroy all Yari users, and you will have several of the songs for finding all the key locations to power up your Atsu very early after doing these 2 zones. After taking down majority of the bounties over here, like at the Boar's Eye Cave, as well as the bounty down here in the Twins Pond Hidaka, you probably want to go over and take on the pagoda. There's a mysterious gate and a pagoda right down here in this area here, and there's going to be a storyteller that you need to go ahead and speak to that's going to give you some more information about this quest line. There's also going to be a guy named Daijiro. You want to go after Daijiro and follow his entire quest line so that you can get his armor, which is one of the best early game armors in the game right now. Now right over here to the right is going to be the training fortress. You want to hold off on this. You don't want to do this yet. So at this point, the only Yotei 6 member you've taken down should be the snake. Once you've collected all the different armor sets and weapons that you need from Tokaichi Range as well as the Yotei grasslands, make your way over here to the Ishikari Plains area. Go through the gate, and then once you've made it through the gate, you then want to go after 2 things. Right over here to the west is going to be the Sensei Takahashi's camp, which is where you get the Yari. If you come over here to the Fire Cricket Canyon, you'll be able to receive bombs. Now if you continue to work with Ina, she's going to teach you how to use these right here, the blind bombs. And you want to make sure that you're always upgrading your items with the merchants in the game. There's one more storyteller mission that you want to take down, because if you take down the Undying, you'll be able to receive his special armor. This armor is probably one of my favorite armor sets in the game, and it's going to be this one right here. The Armor of the Undying. This armor is absolutely cracked because if your weapon is aligned, staggering enemies restores a major amount of health, the window to perform perfect parries and perfect dodges is increased by a moderate amount, and focus attacks have a moderate chance to increase stagger damage. So you get more damage out there, you're able to get your health back, and it makes it easier for you to perfect parry and perfect dodge. At which point you want to continue to just go ahead and progress the rest of the main story quest in Ishikari Plains. This will eventually bump you into getting the Oni Oil, which allows you to set all of your weapons on fire and gives you a huge advantage. And at this point you should have at least 5 of the 7 songs in the game. With these 5 songs, you'll be able to find every single location that is going to be a key location for powering up your spirit as well as your health, without ever buying a single map from the cartographer. You can buy the maps from the cartographer if you want to, but you don't necessarily need to if you use the songs when you receive them. Now at this point you should have a large amount of health, you should have at least 7 spirit gauges after resting at a camp, and the most powerful abilities at your fingertips, which will allow you to easily take down the Oni. Once you've taken down the Oni, you want to come back over here to Tokaichi Range and finally take on the fortress. Now, the reason why we do it in this order, when I looked online, a lot of people were saying you should go after the Kitsune first. But for me, I feel like this is a better progression because if you take a look at my character, I have every single weapon except one when it comes to melee. There's only one more ranged weapon I'm missing and a couple of quick fire weapons. Now, at this point, since you're able to take down any enemy that you need to very easily, the big enemies fall to Odachi, the Yari is going to be taking down all of the sickle users. Dual Katanas are just completely OP, and of course, you can take down anybody you want with just a normal katana. You're at a huge advantage against all the different enemy types. So I really didn't think much of it. The next person that I'm going to go after is the Kitsune, because that's going to be the 3rd kanji on that list. And then when it comes to the spider as well as the dragon, I'm going to take those guys on whenever the game allows me to do so. But at this point, you have a bunch of charms. All of your charms are completely maxed out and powered up. You have a bunch of different armor sets that are completely powered up. And you have a lot of money and materials. I've never had any issues with materials and trying to power up or upgrade any items in the game at this point after going through this progression path. Now for me personally, the reason why I did it in this specific order is because of Atsu's sash. The first name or the first kanji on her sash says Hebi, so you have to naturally take down a snake at the beginning of the game. And then the second kanji says Oni, so I thought that you had to go over to the Ishikari Plains area to take him on second, and then go ahead and take on the other Yotei Six Members. The third kanji is definitely Kitsune, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over to Ishikari Plains first, and then I'm gonna take my talents over to Shio Range to take on the Kitsune. Regardless, the reason why I feel this is one of the best progression paths for the game is because not only do I have almost every single weapon in the game, I have a whole lot of different charms that are completely maxed out, and I have a lot of amazing armor sets. The best armor sets in the game are hands down going to be the Undying armor, as well as Tado's armor and the Dragonfly armor. These 3 armor sets alone are going to have you protected against different fire and cold damage with a huge increase to your maximum health, as well as spirit gains. There's other armor that's going to allow you to be a complete beast when it comes to the bows in the game. And then finally, the armor of the Undying. As long as you're using the proper weapon against your opponent, you're always going to be at an advantage. So arguably for me, I feel like this is one of the best orders to take on the Yotei 6 for Ghost of Yotei. Let me know down below which Yotei 6 member you took on second, and how did you progress through the game. And also, which one is your favorite weapon? For me right now, I gotta say the Odachi is an absolute beast to use, but Dual Katana is still number 1. In my next video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to pick up every single charm that you must have early in the game. So I can't wait to see you in that video. If you like what I do here on the channel, make sure you smash that like button. Sub to the channel so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and everything else you need for Ghost of Yotei. I got you covered. But for now, though, it's your boy MSensei HD, and I'm going to get out of here.